Hello there! So I just got done watching the new Cloverfield movie on Netflix, and holy god, it was good. It was really, really good. Um, uh, there's going to be spoilers in this, I guess. At some point, I'll put in spoilers. Let me just see. I'm just going to have the movie playing for me, just to remind me of stuff in the background. Yeah, it was really, really good. Edge of your seat, kind of what's going to happen next, and it's like, why wasn't this movie in the cinemas? Like, I don't get it. Like, what? It was it was just released on Netflix, and that was it. Like, there was. Well, I mean, I've heard of this film coming for, well, ever since the last film kind of came out, 10 Cloverfield Lane. I went online because I'm actually a big Cloverfield fan of the original Cloverfield movie, and I really enjoyed that. I really recommend that movie. It's a good horror film, big monster movie. It's only on for like an hour. And there's so much packed into it. It's really good. And then 10 Cloverfield Lane was like a psychological film, kind of, three people trapped in a doomsday shelter trying to survive an alien invasion. Brilliant. And this movie now, like, J.J. Abrams says that he was trying to progress, like, he wanted Cloverfield to be kind of like the Twilight Zone. And I thought, oh yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, okay. But of course, fans were trying to connect the two movies together, 10 Cloverfield Lane and Cloverfield. And they're trying to say, oh well, 10 Cloverfield Lane happened a few years after Cloverfield. Okay. It kind of worked nice, I guess, but like JJ was like, no, it's different universes. So I guess he listened to the fans, and to really, like, a lot of people likes universes and stuff, so I think maybe that's why he created. I heard there was a rewrite of this movie, and that they actually had to go back and kind of rethink it and stuff after the fallout of 10 Cloverfield Lane. So this movie takes place on a space station, and it's basically there's a huge energy crisis on Earth, and all the countries are on tenterhooks, and they don't really know if there's going to be a world war or famine or anything like that. And these days it's kind of like, well, that's not going to happen. We have a lot of green energy these days, but I guess this isn't some sort of parallel universe where they don't have all of that. Well, I know from history lessons there was like power shortages to the last 100 years, like gas shortages and all that, but which is fair enough. So that's a bit of a background for the film. So basically, it's a group of scientists on a space station trying to figure out a new power called the Shepherd, and that's the name of the well, it looks like a warp core engine from Star Trek. It really does. I really want to watch this movie again. Sorry. But yeah, they call it the Shepherd, and basically it's humanity's last hope to save the planet. And if they can get this thing up and running, up and going, they'll basically create enough free energy for the whole world. Because I think they have a second one on the planet. Because it's so dangerous that's why they have it up in space. But like, if they get that one going, they can get the second one on the planet going, working perfect, and then then free energy and everything would be fine. So the movie starts off with just kind of that, introducing all the characters and all that, but it really fast forwards. During the opening titles, during the opening credits, it's like 2 years. Like they've tested it and tested it and tested it, and 2 years have gone by, and the bloody machine keeps failing, and it's really annoying. And the name's kind of Paradox. 10 Cloverfield Lane. Sorry, a name stuck in my head. The Cloverfield Paradox. That's what this film's called. I've heard about it for ages. They're just brilliant. But yeah, it's just... So, they finally do a... Well, I'll talk a little bit about... There's kind of little hints here and there of what could happen. Newscasts and stuff like that, and which is really good. And then there's this conspiracy theorist guy who says they could open up a hole to a parallel universe and all this kind of stuff, which is fun. They've got a lot of... It just reminds me of Alien, this movie. It really feels like Alien, but it's just a group of people stuck on a spaceship, basically. But Chris O'Dowd's in this movie, and he's a bit of the comic relief, and he's actually Irish in this movie, which is brilliant, because I've seen him do American accents, and don't do it, dude. It's like, But there's a great cast in this. There's some great actors, there's some very dramatic scenes in it. And it's basically built up of like scientists from all over the world, like Ireland, Britain, America, Germany, Brazil, I think, Russia, China. They're all... It's basically the world trying to get along, which is what kind of happens up in the space station anyway. But anyway, so there's a lot of tension to try and get the machine working. And eventually they do get the machine working, but then Earth disappears. And they have to try and figure out where's Earth gone, what's happened. And then it goes back down to Earth, where you see the main character's husband on the planet, and like he finds out the space station's gone, and it's like oh my god, what's happening, what's going on? So and then eventually, so when they turn on, so when they disappear, actually they hear like these moanings and everything going on, and it's like, what is that noise? And there's a woman stuck in the wall. It's like, how did she get there? So the whole film's kind of like a mystery, like what's going on, and eventually it does unravel itself. But then of course the station itself is kind of unraveling, like because it doesn't belong in that universe, and so it's like comes apart. Stuff starts disappearing, and like the worms and their thing for their gravity, their geometric sphere thingy. Anyway, so like, of course, then the whole thing is, who's this woman? What's going on? And then the woman says, well, she's supposed to be on the space station, but you're not. And she's wondering who the Chinese woman is, and well, then eventually they find out that the Earth is like way far away, and it's upside down, and that's weird. Then of course they realise it isn't their Earth, they're in a parallel universe, which is, holy crap, now what do we do? So the whole movie is basically trying to fix the space station. Weird stuff happens, and they have to try and get back to their own dimension, which is a really cool concept. But at the same time though, I've been seeing it a lot lately in sci-fi stuff, and it's kind of like, okay, because I'm watching Star Trek Discovery right now, and they're in a mirror universe, and so it's kind of okay, but so like yeah, if you're a sci-fi fan, I recommend this film. If you're a Cloverfield fan, you have to watch this movie. Yes, absolutely. Um, so yeah, but it is kind of a thriller, murder, mystery kind of well, there isn't a murder, but strange stuff happens, and it is a big mystery. So and there's a lot more to the mystery than just them finding out that they're in a parallel universe. They have to really figure out how the machine works. So I'm going to talk about spoilers now going forward. Um, yeah, if I'm talking about spoilers, you've probably already seen the movie. If you want to go away and watch it and then come back, that's cool with me. Because I love Cloverfield. I hope there's going to be a franchise of it, and I hope they do it right. They just don't rush into stuff. Which looks like that's what they're doing here. Which is really great. I'm going to be watching this film again and again, honestly, because I watched the last two again and again. So the outcry of last film, 10 Cloverfield Lane, was that, JJ says it wasn't in the same universe. Like, it's the same kind of dream, like not dream, it's the same kind of spirit. But of course, fans got backlash to that. They were like, no, come on, just make it the same universe. Like, come on, give us something, dudes. So, I guess 10 Cloverfield Lane isn't in the same universe as Cloverfield and Cloverfield Paradox. Because what happened at the very end was just, oh my god! Well, there was still kind of a little hint of it, kind of halfway through the movie, where the husband was trying to get to his hospital, and it was just there was just ruins, and he finds a little girl, and they get to a bomb shelter, which is kind of harken back to 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is cool. And there's Cloverfield stuff in it, which I thought they were just kind of like going, look, Slusho, because that's a little Easter egg. And I thought there was just little Easter eggs for Cloverfield, which I thought was fine, But the whole thing is that, no, Cloverfield Paradox is in the same Earth as Cloverfield. It's actually a prequel. Holy crap. And it actually explains everything. Which is crazy. So basically this machine caused the monsters to appear, and there's more than just one monster that we saw in New York in the first Cloverfield movie, because at the end the husband says, you can't bring them back down to these monsters, which is crazy, so I really do like this movie. There's a whole load of, it's really action packed, and it's really I'm saying really a lot. It finally gives us the answer to Cloverfield, the movie, like what happened, how did this happen, because a lot of fans wanted to know that, and now they know, which is great. Whether JJ will keep going with that or not, I don't know, but I'm going to talk a little bit about the film now, the actual Cloverfield Paradox. Yeah, I love the blonde woman in it. She turned out to be the bad guy. It was kind of a bit obvious. She was going to, kill everybody and try and keep the station in her universe, It was a bit obvious from the get-go, to be honest, but I was like, doesn't matter. I'm just going to watch the film. the worms disappearing, I thought, yeah, they're going to appear in somebody's stomach. And sure enough, they appeared, they were in the Russian guy. The gyro, I had no idea it was going to be in the Russian. That was funny. The hand, the arm, that's alive. Thing from Addams Family. The arm, the spare arm from Doctor Who. I know there was a live arm in Ash versus the Evil Dead at the end of season 1. That was very funny. So I guess they thought to do something with that, but that's the thing. The arm is still alive. Like, it was just going like this. So what's brain on that? Whose brain is that? Because the owner of that arm was dead. Like, the space station crashed. It's dead. That's really funny. That's really weird. Like, how is it? Okay, it's just a funny, weird thing. Crystal Dead was very funny. I have to hand it off to all the actors. It was really good. I knew the Chinese woman was going to die first because I thought, this is a lot of subtitles. And I thought, yeah, they're going to kill her off once the action really gets going, because there's not going to be time to read in subtitles. The way she died was pretty cool, frozen in the... Because you think all the water's going to go out, and then it just freezes. And she's like frozen in it. And it's just like, oh, that was so great. The antagonist in this film, she was really good. There's 2 survivors, which is great because, then you don't have to get the whole cast back for the sequel. You just, if you're going to make a sequel of this, just have to get them to. But it will be interesting now to see what if he comes back to this reality, or his next film's to do with 10 Cloverfield Lane, where all the aliens have invaded. Space Station looks fantastic. I just have it playing them in the background. I just started from the beginning to watch it again. But yeah, in the special effects were fantastic. The space station itself was fantastic. Can't recommend this enough. Maybe he'll do 2 things. Like, Cloverfield will go one way, and then 10 Cloverfield Lane will go another way. That kind of makes sense to me, because where are all the big monsters gone in 10 Cloverfield Lane? Like, there was an alien invasion. Or, although that crazy guy said, like, this would open holes in other dimensions. So maybe that's what happened. Which is fun. So yeah, I've been rambling on for nearly 20 minutes now. I can't believe that. But yeah, I can't wait to see what happens next. I'd love to see what happens next. Is he going to make a TV show out of this? Are we going to get like maybe 2 or 3 movies a year? That'd be pretty cool. Is it going to be like Game of Thrones? Is it going to take over from Game of Thrones? I hope JJ has a plan going forward, and he knows what he's doing. Of course he does, but he fell out with, he lost interest in Lost, and he lost interest in so many good projects, and I'm glad now he's coming back to Cloverfield, and yeah, I'm just really excited to see what happens next. If this review, I always try to do something different with my reviews. I know other people will talk about the actual film itself. But yeah, that's my review. So subscribe, watch my last video, watch next new reviews and stuff. I have other videos and stuff on this channel. I try to put up a video every week, at least 1 movie review. I'll probably put up 2 this week. I've Star Wars. I just did Star Wars Last Jedi. I have a wee rant about that. It's very funny. I think so. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to whoever comes next. Okay, so subscribe. Favorite, like, leave a comment. You know, I'd love to hear from other Cloverfield fans. Okay, that's it. Bye.